It is time for another front lever session, but not just any session. We are gonna add progressive overload. So basically making all the exercises slightly harder than what I've been doing in the past. We're gonna start off with front lever top hold. In that one specifically, I've been using the thinnest band and getting pretty solid holds, to be honest. So I'm thinking we're gonna start off today with taking away that band completely and just see if I can do about 6 seconds, just body weight, no help, top front lever holds. That's gonna be the first one, and then as we move along, I'm gonna explain how I incorporate progressive overload on all the other exercises. Let's start, top front lever holds. All right, it is time. This band is not mine, it's my buddy's, so I'm not gonna be using it for the top front lever hold. But there's a few things I'm gonna focus on. Number one, false grip. This bar is pretty thin, or compared to thick bars, of course, general pretty good solid grip, but it is slightly thinner, so I wanna make sure I have good false grip so I can keep the bar tight towards the body. And then the other thing is actually gonna be that thing that if I'm not touching the bar, I feel like then the progression is slightly too hard for me. So at that point, I'm gonna add a resistance band. Probably go back to the one we had before and just work myself up to more second holds. If I can't perform about 6 seconds now without any band, because if I can just do 4 of them that are 4 seconds clean, it's a pretty short time under tension, and I don't want that, I want slightly higher. But I think let's give it a try, just see how I perform. If I'm able to hold around 6 seconds, this is perfect, and we will continue from here. Whoa. Definitely a few seconds that are really good, then I lose some tension. I'm gonna check the footage and see how where we're at. First set is always slightly worse than the other ones. But if this was about 5 seconds, I think the next one can be 6. And then it might be good. Just push the limits from there. I checked the footage and it looked like it was about 4 seconds that's actually valid, in my opinion. And then the 5th second was the negative part, which is of course still gonna give me some strength, but it's not like my main focus. I'm always gonna try to do the negative because it's just worth doing. I can't do it, so why not get that slightly extra time and attention. Even if it's not the top hold, I'm still connecting the rest of the body. But the first one, 4 seconds. I'm gonna see now, the second set is usually a bit better. More blood flow, I have the connection. See if I can bump it up to at least 5, 6. That's the goal, so let's shoot. It feels pretty good. Of course, it requires insane strength to keep the tension, but I think this was slightly longer, and I do feel like I can even hold it, even if it's not perfect touch, slightly under. I can hold it at least 1 or 2 seconds extra, and then the delay. Let's do one more actually for the third one and see if I can continue, because it's almost a bit too little, but then again, it's really close to being enough for me to then continue to progress. And it's nice to train without any band as well. For me, my self-confidence to just know that, fuck, I can actually handle training without bands. Because if you always do bands, even if I know I can usually perform the skills just way shorter holds, it's nice to train without any band as well, because then I know that this is the real thing, this is what I'm training for. So if I can perform it here, this is what I have, if that makes sense. So let's do one more set. I'm actually pretty satisfied with the last one, so let's just pretty much do the same thing. I think that was about 5, 6 seconds of actually touch hold. Slightly under on the last one, but pretty damn good. So keep it up for this last set. Not too bad, not too bad. Maybe dropped a little earlier this time, but I think this is a good starting point. I'm gonna continue for next session as well without any band, and I think from here we're just gonna bump up the seconds, because this is good enough to actually perform. Enough time and attention, and I'm happy with them. Next exercise that I usually perform is front lever pull-ups, and I've been doing 3 of them and then just a solid hold after. But here's the thing, progressive overload at that point is really hard. Because going from, let's say if I would add 1 rep, going from 3 reps to 4 reps, that percentage, that jump is huge. So I'm actually thinking now, I did this sort of low amount of reps before because I just want to do something without resistance band to feel the connection, feel like this is just my body weight that I'm actually moving. But I'm actually gonna switch it up, so I'm gonna add the resistance band, this is the thinnest one, and see if I can jump up to about 5 reps. Because from there, if I do 5 reps, and then after some time I do 6 reps, that percentage is way smaller of a jump than from 3 to 4 reps. So I think that's gonna be the thing. So I will try it with the smallest resistance band, and if it's still way too heavy to perform, about 5. They don't need to be the cleanest in the end, but still pretty solid, preferably touch the bar at all reps. I'm gonna be pretty happy. But if that's not doable, I might step up with the resistance band, take slightly thicker, so I do actually get a bit higher reps. Oh, last one's still heavy as fuck. Holy crap. I think I'm gonna check the reps, just see how extremely bad that last one. 4 reps were alright, but the 5th one, didn't look good at all. Or it didn't feel, at least. I don't think it looked good either. But I will check it, see how it will look. And if it's too shitty, I'm gonna step up 1 thicker band. And then we're probably gonna get 5-6 reps. Which is also a good way to then move up. And the band is still gonna be super thin. The next one is a few more kilograms, and I think the total help it gives me is also just a few kilograms. So, okay, I've been thinking a little bit about this exercise, and I know I'm a bit all over the place because sometimes I can change my mind because I think a lot about like what's the benefit and what is my main goal. And I've now decided I'm gonna stick with this band. I'm gonna do 4 reps. And then I'm gonna focus on my hold, because I know that in general I am pretty strong in front lever pull-ups, like the dynamic part. But just the front lever holds, that's not my strongest side at all. Like even if I've been doing front lever for a long time, I never really trained solid holds. And now when I think about it, one reason also why I did this was because of the hold in the end. But then I sort of moved more towards the pulling than the actual hold, which was wrong. That's not the case why I start with this exercise really either. So therefore I'm gonna stick with 4 reps for the pull-ups and then do a max out front lever hold with this resistance band. And at that point we can actually perform pretty good progressive overload because the holding time is easier to actually add on than another rep. So if we add a few more seconds after, let's say 1-2 weeks, probably can bump it up 1-2 seconds after with the hold. That's gonna be good. And at that point, I'm training the holding position more, getting more comfortable there. If I'm strong there, if I'm strong in top hold, this range in between is gonna be way easier as well. And that was my whole idea when I started with this one as well. I just sort of moved away from it. But now, after some thinking, I got back to why I actually started in the first place. So let's do like this. Probably really confusing and not the greatest explanation, but rewatch it if you didn't understand, and maybe you don't even understand at that point. And at that, if that's the case, I guess we just move along and you will understand after a while what I'm actually doing. Oh. It's heavy stuff though, it's really heavy. But I think this is gonna be the best way to go on with this exercise. Let's do one more set. I also know that my front lever is pointing a bit too much downwards in just hold. So I'm gonna see if I can bump it up a bit more. I'm pretty exhausted after the reps though, so it's not easy, but I'm gonna see if I can actually push it up. Because if the form is shit, it's not really worth it. Really heavy. Fucking hell. At this point, I usually do one arm front lever training with some assistance. But I'm gonna be honest, I've been doing it for a while now and I don't enjoy it that much at the moment. And to be honest, it's not my main focus either right now. So I've actually made the decision to take away the one arm front lever training and only focus now on the top front lever holds, the normal hold like we did before and the pull-ups. Then now after this, or after I'm done talking here, it's gonna be Victorian press-ups and then weighted pull-ups. And that's gonna be my front lever sessions, because before I did 5 exercises, it took a bit too much time, and towards the end I'm just fucking tired as well. So I think taking away one of these ones is just gonna do me good, because I will have more energy, be a bit higher in mood, and at the moment I just don't really enjoy it because I haven't felt the connection with this exercise right now, and therefore I'm gonna leave it to the side, focus on other things, and probably come back to the one arm eventually after I've done or reached the level I want with the other skills. So that's gonna be the plan. So let's move on to some Victorian press-ups. So before I did use the weight twist and I did 10 reps. The plan now is gonna be use the weight twist again and do 12 reps. So 2 reps, that's gonna be 20% if I'm not wrong. Yes, 20% extra as a progressive overload. That's pretty solid. So the jump from 10 to 12 is way easier than from 3 to 4 reps like I mentioned before, because at that point it's major difference. I'm gonna try to keep my energy up. Woo! It's frustrating. As soon as you drop energy, like it's hard to bump it up. So I always like to try to maintain it throughout the whole session, but it's hard. Now I feel like I'm dipping, so I'm just gonna blast music, see if I can hype myself up again. Oh, it's so fucking heavy. And the range of motion is extremely short, but doable. It's almost like I want to lift it up a bit, because now I just lift and then down, but minimal. As you can see, the setup is now changed. And here is the thing. The main idea with this exercise that I just performed is to rotate, to open up the chest and get the retraction. This is the focus. But I feel like I can't really do that far with the range of motion that I have with these ones on the ground. And now with these ones up here, it's gonna be way too heavy with a weight twist. Probably already was a bit too heavy because I couldn't get the extra, almost like my triceps activated more than the actual retraction. I'm gonna admit it, and that's the whole thing here. Like, this session is a pure, pure reality. That even if I've been doing something for a while, if I know that this is not the best way to perform it, I will change and just admit that I've been doing it worse before. And that's gonna be the case here. So now I put these ones higher up. I'm gonna see if I can have completely straight arms and only work this twisting motion. Up with the chest, no weight twist because it's gonna be way too heavy to perform with good form then. And just work myself from here. So I'm aiming, let's do 8 reps, I think it's doable. And then this is gonna be the starting point. And then we'll add progressive overload to wherever we are now in 2 weeks. Oh, fucking hell, it is heavy though. Oh. First reps I think were solid, last ones I lost the technique a bit, but I think this is gonna be way better than the other ones, because now the retraction is the one getting most pressure. Still of course some arms, we are still tightening everything, but this is better targeting the retraction, which is what we want. Surprise, one last adjustment. Whoa. This is really just a workout that's experimenting. I feel like it's all over the place, but it is from time to time, and in the end it's worth it for me to just spend a few sets figuring out what's gonna be the best way for me to progress. And then if I do it over a period of time, a few weeks, and it's, you know, the best way or better than the previous one, it's gonna be worth it. So now I got these ones instead, because I can bring them closer together without hitting myself with a bum, and then just levitate my feet. So then my angle is gonna be pretty much the same, just slightly more comfortable and easier to perform. Let's do the last set. Oh yeah, this is gonna be good. If we progress with this, I'm definitely hitting the right muscles now. Success. Let's move on to some weighted pull-ups. That one I'm not gonna experiment with, because that one I know how to fucking perform. For the pull-ups, we're doing 40 kilograms, 8 reps. Been a while actually since I did weighted pull-ups, so it's gonna be interesting to see how strong I am. Also now after the calorie deficit, I'm still on a calorie deficit, but 2,000 calories now, so not as extreme. But let's see, one set, and hopefully I'm able to do the 8 reps as before. Struggling though, but that was 8 reps. 2 more sets. Heavy. But now it's only one left. Crazy low energy right now. This is gonna be the last set, so let's get a solid back shot. We did do 8 reps for all sets, but not any beautiful ones. I'm gonna finish, I'm not gonna lie. But it sucks having low energy, absolutely sucks. Well, how should I summarize this session? Started off pretty damn good, to be honest, with the top front lever hold, and then I think it went downwards from there. My energy was a bit low, and then I just experimented a lot with the exercises to just maximize them. I think that's a good thing though, but my energy today was in general low, which is always bad. But we're grinding, and I really appreciate a lot of people supporting all the time. It keeps me sharp. Back in the days, let's say just 1-2 years ago, I would definitely just have quit before the last pull-ups today. And all of this has changed a lot now. When I know a lot of people support, I want to motivate people as well and show them that it's actually doable. Like, we have our shitty workouts. We have some workouts where we are just constantly thinking to ourselves, am I doing the right exercises? Do I need to experiment with something to find the best way? And that's the truth. Like, in calisthenics, it's rare to have like, this is the best exercise for everyone to perform. It's not gonna be the case. So you need to really find the things that suits you, that you enjoy doing, that you feel connection with, and that you stay consistent with. And in the end of the day, that's the whole point, and that's what I also want to show. So it was a good session when it comes to, let's say, facts or experimenting or long-term success, but the actual workout, not the best one. Let's do some flexing, and hopefully that one is pretty good at least, because you are getting shredded now on 2,000 calories. I also want to mention that in the community we have a muscle building program, so it's literally what you should do every day, train exercises, video format, me explaining what to do to build as much mass and size and just look jacked as fucked. So that's all in there if you wanna check it out. Build massive back. Feel a bit tired, to be honest, and the flexing as well to back up for this. That was all right, but the truth is I definitely need some light rest now so I can get back on track and chase those effective workouts where I'm higher on energy, getting more motivation, spreading more energy as well. I hate to have low energy because I feel like I emit low energy vibes, and that sucks. So I want to get back to the strong energy, hopefully next session. So hit like, subscribe, and I will see you guys then. Choo choo!